My name is Brooke Plofsky, the preschool and the early childhood programs here. Miss Molly and I share an office together. We work like this, so anything you tell me, she's going to know, and anything you tell her, I'm going to know, unless you tell her not to tell me or tell me not to tell her. Anyway, so we work very closely together. So I came up with this PowerPoint presentation this year, and it basically is going to go through the parent manual, and with just a lot more details added and time for you guys to kind of ask questions. So I'll just like walk you through everything. I have 4 children, so I have 2 girls and 2 boys, so I have both flavors. I have a set of twins in there. My oldest is a year out of college working and getting health insurance in Washington, D.C. She was a bossy preschooler. She could have run the class. That was her personality. My second daughter, who's 20 and is going to be a junior at Indiana University, she was a late talker and would do a lot of hitting and screaming. And my twins are identical. They were born 2 months premature, so they had a lot of developmental, like social emotional delay stuff, so they ended up repeating kindergarten. So whenever somebody's on the fence about should I put my kid in kindergarten or do another year of preschool, like I'm always the one to talk to about that. Or twins, or one twin was more outgoing, the other twin was more shy, like just all those differences in personalities and all those things you go through. You know, one of them had the helmet on the head and surgeries and OT and PT and all that stuff, and my daughter who talked late had speech. So these are just a lot of things that I feel like I had, you know, pretty well-rounded experiences in. So, you know, when parents have questions, I can talk to you about it, so anytime. So welcome to tonight. Our philosophy is that we're a play-based program. We try to do as much hands-on learning as possible. Lots of toys, lots of discovery, lots of, you know, just playing with manipulatives and getting dirty, okay? Our curriculum is based on the social emotional development of children and kindergarten readiness. So everybody's working on their social emotional. So sharing, problem solving, communication, talking to others, learning how to wait your turn, learning how to sit and listen, you know, get in a line or stay with the group, you know, those kinds of things. How to identify your feelings or other people's feelings and how you affect others and how they affect you. So all that kind of stuff they're learning. The 4s concentrate a lot on the kindergarten readiness, so they're ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. So they're going to learn, you know, letter sounds and how to write their name and their phone number and their address. Like, we don't promise mastery of everything, but we expose the kids to all these things and, you know, try to drill it into them. So the home family connection is so important. So we need to know what's happening at home, because things at home can affect how children behave or feel at school. So if there's anything, you know, that you feel might affect how your child is performing at school, let us know. Like, you know, Mom went on a business trip for a month, like she went to China, and, you know, the kid's crying all the time. Well, maybe they're missing their mom, and we don't know that, you know, so if you tell us, we can problem solve. Oh, let's make Mom a card, let's draw her a picture, let's, you know, something like that. Or bring a picture of her to school, you know. So that home family connection is super important. The ways that we communicate with our parents, so I made some bullets here. Daily and brief drop off and pick up, so basically at the door. When you drop off your child and pick them up, that's a time when you kind of check in. We have bulletin boards outside of all the rooms, so they are going to have like events coming up, times that you can sign up to volunteer to come in the classroom, the snack calendar. We are collecting paper towel rolls or just that kind of stuff. Special dates coming up. We have something called a daily template, and that is a really simple, it's a laminated piece of paper that the teacher wipes off and then writes new every day. And it's going to tell you what story they read, what song they sang, if it was somebody's birthday, what they did at circle time, if they went outside on the playground or if they went to the gym, these kinds of things. And that is to use as a talking point with your kids, because you'll pick them up. What'd you do today? Nothing. Who'd you play with? My friend. What, you know, what book did you read? I don't know, you know. So you can use that to ask questions. I heard you learned how to play duck, duck, goose in the gym today. Can you show me how? You know, or I heard that you got to read the book Blueberries from Sal. Tell me about it, you know. So that can kind of prompt questioning, which is nice. A lot of times people who might be working full time and have someone else doing the pickup and drop off that person can take a picture and then send it to the parents, and then they can know how to ask questions when they see their child later. So that's called a daily template, so you'll see those outside of every room. The teachers also do a monthly parent newsletter, so they'll let you know what's coming up, kind of a recap of what they did, important dates coming up, how to contact them, that'll all be in there. And they will email that to you electronically, and most teachers also give out a paper copy of that as well. We have parent-teacher conferences twice, once in the fall, once in the spring. Our conferences are not a time for surprises. So we are not going to surprise you about something. We're not going to tell you, oh, your child has been biting for the last 2 months. Like, we're not going to wait until a conference to tell you that. If there's any red flags or issues that we're working on, you will know beforehand. So likewise, if you want to tell us something, that's that home, school connection. Like, you need to be in touch with us. And, oh, we're getting them tested for blah, blah, blah. We're, working on this and this therapy, those kinds of things. So to keep in contact with each other. The conferences literally last about 8 minutes. You will get an assessment form, like a little report card. We don't promise mastering on anything. We don't do formal testing or anything, but it's like just different ways that we can kind of look at how the kids are growing, and whether it's kindergarten readiness stuff or the social emotional, their self-help skills, all that kind of stuff. You will have a phone number for the room. I'll tell you if class is in session and you call that number, they're probably not going to hear it. So either before class starts or after class is over, those would be the best times if you want to call the phone, that you would reach somebody if there's, in the room, and they probably should be. Or they all have emails, the lead teachers. So I will tell you that our teachers work either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, or every day. So if your child is in, let's say, a Tuesday, Thursday class and you send an email, they're most likely going to check emails and phone calls on the days that they work. So if it's like really urgent, then I would call the office, okay? And then we make sure that they would get it sooner, back to you sooner. Illness. It's no fun being sick. So you don't want your child to come to school sick. Sometimes people will do things like, oh, it's not that bad, I'm just going to give them some Motrin, they're only going to be there for 2 hours. Then your kid's going to come to school and they're going to lay on the floor and they're going to feel lethargic, they're going to lay on the little couch in the room and they're going to tell the teacher they don't feel well, they're going to be, real quiet, not themselves, and within 30 minutes to an hour, the teacher's going to be calling you and saying, your child doesn't feel well, they're not acting themselves, we need you to pick them up, come to the office, I take their temperature, they've got a fever. So, think about that. You don't want your child to be uncomfortable. You don't want other kids to get sick, and we don't want the teachers to get sick. Symptoms, when they're sick, cold symptoms, major mucus, really bad phlegmy coughs, diarrhea, fever. And if they have a fever, and then make sure they're fever-free for 24 hours, okay, before you send them back. Just think about when you've been sick, really, really sick. Even when you're like, oh, I could go to work today, and you're an adult and you sit in a chair at the computer and, but like you don't feel well. So if you send them that very next day, they're not going to feel well, and then they might rebound and all that. So we like that they're not going to be contagious, of course. So as a courtesy, if anybody's child gets something like pink eye or strep throat or chicken pox, lice, all those fun things, let us know in the office, and then we can let the teacher know to let parents look out for signs. We're not going to say who has this or that. We'll keep things private. Drop-off and pickup times. So morning preschool drop-off is at 9, and pickup is at 11:30. Afternoon preschool is a 12:30 drop-off and a 3 p.m. pickup. We have those glass doors, which we call our bubble doors. So about 10 to 15 minutes before and after preschool, those doors are on a timer, so they will be unlocked. Once about 10 to 15 minutes after school starts, the doors will lock automatically. So, and the kids' classrooms are locked from the outside as well. But if you need to come in for some reason and get your child early, you'll need to come to the office, sign them out, and then we'll buzz you in. So that's how that works for their safety. And like this outside door over here by my office to get in the building, that will always be open, so you don't have to worry about getting buzzed in or anything. During drop-off and pickup, you can line up in the hallway and wait to sign out your child. The teacher or the assistant will be at the door with a clipboard. Please bring a picture ID with you. Do not leave it in the car, especially in the beginning when until we recognize people's faces. If your children have been here before, or you know from the community, the teachers or something, and they know you, then they'll be like, oh yeah, hi Shelly, or whatever. But if they don't, they should be asking for your ID until they recognize your face, like after a couple days. Okay? If someone else is picking up outside of that routine, if it's usually you or your spouse or the babysitter, and it's somebody that's going to be different, you need to make sure that that person is on your EPACT form, so that we can look up and make sure that they're authorized to pick up. Doesn't hurt to let the teacher know, oh, we got a new nanny, or Uncle so-and-so is picking up the child today. They need to be on the EPAC, but it's helpful to tell the teacher as well, out of the ordinary kind of stuff. The kids will be dismissed one at a time, so they're just going to speak to you real briefly at the door. Oh, they had such a great day, or, we had a little trouble on the playground today. He fell and scraped his knee, but he's all right. Anything major, if they get hurt, we will call you, but like little bumps and bruises, we're not going to call you every time they trip. Anyway, if you find that you want to talk to the teacher and have like a big discussion about something, please wait at the end of the line, and then when you get up there, you'll have time and other people won't be waiting for you. Make sure that you collect their stuff from their lockers before you pick them up, or after you pick them up, you can grab their stuff. Whichever way, you need to stop at their locker and get their things. If your child is in a 4-year-old classroom with Cubbies in the classroom, they'll get their own stuff. So they will all have a locker or cubby with their name on it. Keep in mind, we have morning kids, we have afternoon kids, we have kids who come Tuesday, Thursday, and we have kids who come Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have kids who come Monday through Friday. So your child will share a locker or a cubby with up to 3 other children, okay? So everything you send to school, you need to label it, and if you're always the one picking up, you know what to grab out of the locker. If all of a sudden somebody else is going to pick up and they've never picked up before, I would be specific with that person about what to grab. Make sure you get his backpack and his boots, or making sure you get his backpack and snow pants, or whatever, or the hat, whatever it may be. Just be specific, because a new person will come and they'll just grab everything out of the locker, and some people leave stuff in the locker. They might leave spare clothes in there, and then someone just grabs it. Or they might leave their boots in there. Oh, we have snow boots for school, we're not going to schlep them back and forth. And then somebody comes and they take the boots. Like they think that it's their child's boots, or the babysitter thinks it's their child's boots, and they'll just take them, and then they disappear. So make sure you label everything. So if that happens and somebody gets home, oh my gosh, we brought home Charlie's boots, we need to bring them back tomorrow. So, I would bring them either back to the locker, or we have a lost and found, you can put them in, okay? So just keep that in mind. And if something comes up missing, I would either check the lost and found, or check their locker, check their classroom. So, label everything. Clothing. This is preschool, dress for a mess. Pants with elastic waistband are best for toileting reasons. So joggers, sweatpants, leggings, like that kind of stuff. If you want to put them in jeans, they do make some jeans with elastic waist. I don't know if they still do it now, but they did when my kids were little. Snaps and buttons are not real preschool friendly when it comes to, going to the bathroom on their own. Label everything. No flip-flops. Kids can trip in them. We're running around outside. It's not safe. Have a spare set of seasonally appropriate clothing in a Ziploc bag with your child's name on it. So you're going to start the year and they're going to have spare clothes. They're going to have shorts, a t-shirt, underwear, socks, down to the socks. If they have an accident, it'll go all the way down to the socks. Or if they're spilled on, if they're older, they might be having toileting accidents, but somebody might spill a cup of juice on them and snap. So they need spare clothes. Make sure that they're for the season. So right now it's going to be shorts and t-shirts. In 2 months, they're going to need a long sleeve shirt and pants. So make sure they have what they're going to need.
Do those get left here?
They either can be left in the locker with their name on it, or you can just leave them in their backpack all the time in a Ziploc with their name on it. Either way would be fine. If they don't see it in the locker, they'll check the backpack. And then if there's nothing there, we have a bin of spare clothes. We'll go to that if we can't reach you. So On snowy days, you need to change them out of their boots. So if you walk in and the child has their boots on, you need to change them into regular school shoes before they enter the classroom, and just leave their boots in their locker, or your teacher might have a special spot where the kids line up their boots. So all children must be 100% potty trained for preschool. Okay. They've got to be potty trained. No pull-ups, no diapers. Somebody did some other kind of thing with plastic pants once, where they pulled them up like over something in the side of the pants. Okay, if your child is, accidents happen. We expect the occasional accident, and we'll deal with it. We'll help get them cleaned up. If they do more than wet themselves, we're going to have to call you. Can't lay anybody down and wipe them and do anything like that. So if they continue to have accidents, we'll be in touch with you. So either sometimes kids regress, it does happen. Other times parents are like, we just finished potty training last week, but they're not really potty trained. So they might be, but if they continue to have accidents, maybe they're not ready. So we usually figure that out really quick. So if they have an accident, we can assist in the changing, but if they're more than wet, we're gonna have to give you a call. Snacks. Both morning and afternoon preschoolers have snacks at a daily scheduled time. Every class does it a little different. Usually it's somewhere between an hour and a half after they get here. They're nut-free. The first week we will provide snacks and drinks for all the classes, but after that you are going to get, or tonight if you haven't gotten it already, you will get a snack schedule for the whole session. And you will be responsible for 1 week where you get snack and drink for everybody in the class. Everything I'm telling you is in the handbook. We're just kind of going over it if you guys have questions, so don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to remember every single thing she's saying. So we just kind of went through and did our own adding of notes and stuff to go over things. No homemade goods because of all the allergies these days. If you want to send in cupcakes for a birthday, which most people want to do that, there are nut-free safe brands that are that are at Jewel. We did make a list of birthday nut-free safe suggestions of treats. So you'll get one of those from your teacher. Popular snacks, there's a list of snacks in the manual. Goldfish, graham crackers, cheese sticks, those kinds of things. If you send in fresh fruit, that is fine, but we just ask that it is pre-cut. So don't walk in and be like, here's a watermelon for the class, So cut it up so it's easy to serve. There's a lot of kids, and prepping things like that it's very time consuming. Okay, allergies. Make sure to let all your children's teachers know if they have any food or latex allergies. So if your child's in preschool only with us, of course you want to let the preschool teacher know. If they're in Playtime Pals, enrichment classes, you must make sure that you fill this out on your e-pack so we can let all those teachers that they're come in touch with know that they have an allergy, okay? Peanuts and different kinds of nuts are a very common allergy. If your child has a EpiPen, then we need to have it in a Ziploc bag with their name on it. The teacher needs to have one in the room with a completed medication form. We cannot dispense the EpiPen. If they should need it, what we can do is we put the EpiPen in their hand, and then we go like that. We just kind of guide it into their leg. So, because we're not really supposed to dispense medication. And then we would call 911 and we would call you. If they're in more than one classroom, I did put on there, please provide an EpiPen for each room. Honestly, I know they're expensive. If your child has an EpiPen and they have one in the preschool classroom, then I would put an extra one in their backpack for if they travel to enrichment or some other activity in the leisure center. Okay, here we go, next slide. Okay, enrichment. Signing your child up for enrichment lengthens their day by 75 minutes. So if you have a morning preschooler, they can stay till 12:45. So they would stay and have one of their fun enrichment classes. First they would eat lunch, which you're going to spend with them, and then they would have their enrichment class. So whatever it is, it could be sports, it could be art, it could be drama, it could be science, it could be anything. There's a room across the hall that has all the options in it that hopefully you visited already or can look at after this. And afternoon kiddos, they have their enrichment before preschool, so they would come a little bit earlier at 11:15. If your child is in Playtime Pals, then they come at, who else is in Playtime Pals, anybody? Okay, so they're gonna come at 9. When it's time for enrichment at 11:15, they'll be dropped off there with their backpack. And that goes, we have these carts that we can hang everything on and just roll down the hallway to each thing.
How does that work with coats and boots and all that?
It all goes on there.
It goes in the cart, okay.
Yep. We got 2 more carts this year, so we can
Okay,
pick one.
very
Yeah, yeah, that's how that works. At some point in the, you know, when it starts with like snow pants and all this, we might start asking people, can you put it in like one of those canvas bags and stuff it all in there? Because some of the kids really have a lot, but that's how we do it. Enrichment classes begin the week of September 3rd. So next week is the first week of preschool. There is no enrichment next week. It starts the following week. The reasoning for that is because a lot of parents say, oh, I just want to see how they do with preschool. This is our first time. Oh, they're doing great. I think I can add enrichment. Okay, let's do it. And then they sign them up. So that's how it works. Okay? Sometimes people have already have them signed up for enrichment and the kid's laying on the floor exhausted the whole time. Well, maybe they need to go home for a nap, so then they pull them out. So we can do that as well. We will work with you. You're only charged for what they attend. If your child is in Playtime Pals, and like I said, there's no enrichment the first week, we have special programming for those children. So they will stay in the building and we'll do something special with them. Okay? So the teachers are going to walk the kids to and from preschool to enrichment, enrichment to preschool, so you don't have to come back in between to do any of that. You drop them off in the beginning, you pick them up at the end. Nut-free lunch and drink. Just want to mention, it's popular for people to use something called soy butter now, or cookie butter. It's like a substitute for peanut butter. If you use that, and it's, you know, it is the soy butter is safe. If you use it though, label it on your sandwich, just put like a sticky or a piece of tape or something so that the teacher doesn't think it's peanut butter. Because if they think it's peanut butter, then we can't let them have it in the room. So that's kind of how that goes. So label it for us. Put an ice pack in the lunch, that's fine. And make sure at the end, when you pick up your kids from enrichment, and this is really for the morning classes when they end at 12:45, make sure you get everything off the cart. So if they have a separate lunch box from their backpack, and then they have a pair of snow pants, and then they have a bag with art project, like whatever it is, like make sure you get everything. So discipline. Be aware, okay, that it is normal for children to act differently outside of their home and family members than it is for them to act at school. Think about it. When you and your spouse are together, you are comfortable, and if you're angry about something, you're just going to go off, right? But then, as soon as you get out of the car and you walk in wherever you are, it's like nothing ever happened, you know? So your comfort zone is with your family and at home. So kids are going to act different at home than they're going to act at school. So they might give you a really hard time at home, and then they come to school and we say they're so wonderful and they're angel. Are you talking about my kid? Yeah, we are, you know. So there's that situation to think about. Kids are going to test us. It's a normal part of their social development. Hitting and pushing are undesirable yet normal in early childhood, okay? Kids do things physically for different reasons. I will give you 2 examples of some things that happened to my boys who are not physical, weren't kids who rolled around and wrestled or fought or any of that stuff. One of them, when he was probably about 8 years old, this was at camp, I get a call from the counselor. I need to let you know that Jeremy hit someone this week and he's not allowed to swim at the pool for the rest of the week. I was like, what? Okay, so here's the first thing. If we tell you that your child hit someone, okay, we're not making it up, all right? So what I said, I'm thinking to myself, my child's not a hitter, like he doesn't do stuff like that. What provoked him to do that? What provoked your child, who is not normally a hitter or a biter or whatever, to do this? Something instigated it. What instigated it? He later told me these 2 boys had been calling him names all week and pulled his shorts down, okay? So he had enough of it, so finally he hit one of them. Counselor saw that, didn't know any of the other part of the story, so my kid got punished, okay? So once I told the counselor the rest of the story, then they understood, and then I had the lesson and taught my son, if you're going through something like that, you need to tell a grown-up. You need to tell the teacher or your counselor if someone is, being mean to you or whatever. So that's the lesson, okay? My other child, Micah, his twin, I get a call once again from camp. He's probably 11. Not a physical kid, anything like that. Micah, we're calling you because we need to let you know that Micah bit someone. And I was like, what? Like, my kid doesn't bite, you want to think, well, obviously he did do it. They're not going to call me and make this up for any reason. So my question was, my reaction was, oh my God, I am so sorry. That is not something that Micah normally does. Did something instigate this? Okay? Yes, it did. He was on the basketball court and someone was choking him and they would not let their hands off of his neck. He couldn't breathe, so he bit the kid's hand, like, get off, I can't breathe, that was what happened. Is that the right thing to do? No, but if he was in a situation, I guess there wasn't an adult around and he was just like, I can't breathe, get off my neck, and he bit him, and that's what happened. Like, things like this are gonna happen, and what we need to do is we need to acknowledge it and we need to find a way to help the child grow and figure out appropriate ways to handle themselves. So if we tell you your child hit somebody today, your response should be, oh my gosh, really? I'm so surprised. What happened that would make my child do that? Like, you need to work with the teacher and so everybody can figure it out together and make it a learning experience, okay? So we cannot tell you, if that happens to your child, we cannot tell you who did it. We cannot tell the one who had the hitter who they hit. Like, we have to keep privacy, to both families. If you really want to know if your child was hit or bit or whatever, just ask your kid and they'll probably tell you. But we can't reveal that information. Some strategies we use when kids are having a hard time are we take breaks. We take a walk down to the fish tank and we look at the fish and we talk. All it is pressing the reset. We redirect them. So if they're having trouble over here, oh, let's go try this over here, or let's go play with this friend. So we'll just kind of move them somewhere else in the room, get their interest somewhere else, distract them. We give them choices. So when you give choices, you are giving them the power and the control because that's what they want. So if I'm teaching circle time and one child is rolling around on the rug and I keep telling them to sit up or whatever, and they're just really challenging me and it's all about a control thing. I can give them a choice and then they're gonna be in control. But the choices are gonna be what I want them to do. So I could say, I know you're having a hard time sitting right now, but if you sit up like a big girl or a big boy, then you can stay with us. You can either sit here on the rug or you can sit in the chair. So I'm basically telling them you can stay here with us if you act appropriately, or you can go sit on the chair over there and separate yourself over there and take a break. And then when you're ready to come back and join us, we're here. Putting it, like giving them the choice, giving them the control, but it's really either one they pick, you're gonna get what you want, kind of thing. So that's giving them choices and giving them control. We try to help problem solve with words. So we actually give them the vocabulary, give them the phrases, the things to say. I don't like it when you hit me, that hurts. Or that scares me when you make that face or that noise. We work with them, so that's part of that social emotional development. And then we do a lot of positive reinforcement. So we point out what is positive, ignore what is negative. You always start with that. You pay attention to the positive. If there's negative all the time, then that's another story. You got negative behaviors. You might come up with doing like a behavior chart, sticker chart, and that's where we're going to get the parent involved. And you're not going to be surprised at conferences about this. This is something that you would know about if your child's having trouble. We'll be talking about it, checking in all the time. What you can do at home, I'm almost done. Practice self-help skills with your child, like using the potty, flushing the toilet, washing hands. Have them put on their own coats and shoes. They can help with zippers and Velcro straps. We teach them how to flip their coat over and get it on themselves. Let them blow their own nose, throw away used tissues. Have them carry their own backpack to and from school. Use manners by saying please and thank you. Encourage holding a grown-up's hand versus being carried. When you carry them in on your hip to preschool, of course they're your baby. Yes, my 18 and 20, and they're my baby still. They will always be. But like, if you're trying to get your kid to separate from you and you're holding them on your hip and trying to drop them off in the room, you might get that, don't let me go, So it's best to start that. You're a big boy, you're a big girl, we're going to school now. Take my knee, we're going to walk in, like that. Yes, if your child is in a 2-year-old room and they're having a really hard time with separation, there too. And if we must and need to, we will put them on our lap. We will carry someone around or sit with someone. That is understandable, but we are trying to, have you kind of coach them into letting them go. Okay, what else? Have them clean up their own toys at home. If they make an absolute disaster area and dump 100 Legos on the floor, what can you do? It's not realistic to expect that they're gonna clean all that up. They're gonna be overwhelmed and they're gonna wanna run away or hide and not do it. So you can say something like, let's both pick up 5 red Legos. So they're cleaning. They picked up only 5 Legos. You might have to pick up the rest yourself later after they go to bed, but you're giving them that responsibility of helping a little bit. And then just be consistent with your rules. Keep in contact with us about, my child can and cannot do this at home or something like that. We need to know. So with that, have a great year at preschool. Make sure that you get all your EPAC forms filled and your health forms, birth certificates, all that stuff turned in order for your child to start preschool on time.